following is a production of peanutbutterdisaster.com and may contain views and language not suitable for all listeners. Audience discretion is advised.
Hello everybody and welcome to Smark My Words, Peanut Butter Disaster's premier wrestling podcast. I'm KiraKennedy alongside my broadcast colleagues, me, Michael Keane, and the returning Tex Rockwolf.
Howdy, howdy everyone. You know we like to get wild and crazy. What day is it? What are we doing these Wednesday? We like to get wild on Wednesday nights, Maggle and Kira, especially when we've been out of it for a couple of weeks due to successive botches.
And super kicks.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I must have had brain damage from the super kick to forget that.
Yes. Also, Kevin Owens finding your stash of fan fiction.
Fan fiction? Why? I mean, what are you talking about? I'm not a Slash writer. Oh God, you didn't even say Slash. Oh no. What have I done?
I'm reading this text, and I really don't think that there are any Kevin Owens branded butt plugs. I'm sure you could have one custom made, but that just seems inaccurate. I mean, they're not going to sell that in the store. You know that, right?
Well, you know, you really have to work with what you have. Some people say lemons and lemonade. I say, you know, approximations and butt plug size. You know, it does the trick, you know.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When you use it, does it shout Headlock Master?
It tells me that he's the victim here, and that they should be cheering.
You're so
him.
great!
Oh, I love him. Anytime, Kev. If you want to do some locker room stuff with me, that's fine, buddy. We'll hook it up.
Well, we actually do have quite a few things to talk about this week because, my God, there was a metric fuck ton of shit dropped on us this week.
What do you want to start with first, Kira?
I think we should
It
address the
doesn't
elephant in the
matter
room.
what you want to start with.
Walked right into that one.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, I think we should kind of address the elephant in the room that was dropped this morning. The fact that not only will SmackDown be going live starting July 19th on the USA Network in America, probably still on the Score here in Canada. Sorry, Sportsnet 360. That's how old I am. I'm used to calling it the Score.
I'm sure that has.
Well, I'm sure
relevance.
our dozens of Canadian fans are laughing at your small mistake, Kira.
Bret Hart
Dozens.
is really enjoying.
We
this
should be
episode.
so lucky. Yes, I apologize to all two of our Canadian fans. Mom, Dad, I'm very sorry.
You should be. You're disappointing all of them, Kira.
Alright, but in addition to SmackDown being live, they're bringing back the brand split!
Smart move. I'm happy with this. I'm very satisfied with this as a move. I've been saying it for a little over, longer than we've even had this podcast. I've been saying it. The obvious problem here, and I guess, you know, arguably you could say that they suffered greatly from having some of their top tier talent dropped due to injuries over the last few years, the last year or so. But really the problem is that there are too few belts to fight for, and too many people that are actually worth a damn and who could be a part of something very cool and very interesting if they had an opportunity. And with the brand split, of course, that's going to almost guarantee, the return of the big gold belt or something comparable. And that'll be a good thing.
Unfortunately, by that logic, it could also ensure the return of the butterfly belt.
That's not the same logic at all. You're Canadian.
Oh, Canada. Anyway, I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah, there will be a draft actually going on in the weeks to come. It didn't give a specific date, so on the Facebook I said it's probably going to happen sometime before the July 19th premiere. I was guessing the night before, but what do I know? I'm fucking Canadian.
Oh, we should take bets on who gets sent to which brand, like whenever they announce the actual time for it.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe next week we do like a fantasy draft or something.
Yeah, something like that. Just take all of the characters that WWE hates. Take all the characters that WWE hates and put them on SmackDown. And then take all the characters that we either hate or have seen a million times and put them on Raw. Duh, obvious. Come on.
Yes.
Fandango will be the champion on SmackDown. It'll be amazing.
I do not think we are thinking the same thing here, Mike.
I can just imagine Fandango now in his bathrobe at his fine estate. You know, he gets the letter in the mail. Hey, guess what? You're going to be champion on SmackDown. He starts dancing around, singing, shit, goddamn, sit on my face and slam, shit, goddamn, and et cetera, et cetera. I feel like he's going to really enjoy himself.
That doesn't sound anything like Fandango.
Shut the
Fandango
fuck up,
sounds
you
like he's trying to take a shit the entire time.
I will fucking kill you.
Listen, it's with new belts, including new tag team belts. This will be the time for Breeze Dango to really take off, guys. I'm excited about it. I know you both are as well. I mean, it's all gonna be coming up
Only because
Millhouse.
Breeze isn't losing anymore. That's the only reason I put up with that shit.
Oh my god.
Yo,
Man.
Goldust, you hear about this whole brand split conspiracy?
Goldust is gone, I think.
What?
I'm pretty sure he joined his brother Cody, because that's another very huge bomb that got dropped this week. Three more massive releases. Cody Rhodes, although he's still in the process of getting his release. His wife Eden is on her way out the door now, and the Radical Mongoose.
Oh yes, it appears that the Radical Mongoose was a little too radical for his own good.
I didn't even see that. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm totally behind.
Yep. And actually, Goldust and Cody, they left last week's SmackDown tapings very early, so Goldust is probably on his way out the door too.
Wow.
Well, that's
Although I've been wrong before.
Well, the whole thing is too bad. I mean, just touching back on Adam Rose for half a second. I always had a certain kind of affection for that wild gleam he's had in his eye. Ever since he's been anybody, I would have liked him, I think, more as Leo Kruger. I wish he could have stayed as that persona rather than gone the whole Adam Rose business. But it's unfortunate to see him go. I've heard conflicting reports about what exactly the nature of it is. Some kind of physical confrontation with his spouse, I understand, and
I think that was kind of the tipping point for him.
Well, certainly.
In addition to the whole, I had a legitimate reason for taking that ADHD medication, which I don't understand how you can get suspended for taking fucking Ritalin.
Well, it's surprisingly easy to get suspended in this company. I was listening to the Steve Austin interview with Hornswoggle, and obviously, I mean, people can lie, but midgets cannot. That's actually a scientific fact. Midgets can't lie.
I was about to ask, is that a scientific fact?
If they do, they turn into a bucket of gold coins.
So Hornswoggle, Peter, I don't know his actual full name, but
Dylan Postal.
Dylan Postal. How did I get a Peter? Anyway, so Dylan Postal was talking about his release, or his suspension rather, the drug suspension. And apparently what actually happened was he was not able to pee on the day that they needed the piss test, and I guess they only give him a certain, like, I don't know, an hour. I have no idea what the actual, how that works, but apparently on the day he had a shy bladder and couldn't provide a sample, and due to that he was suspended, just on a technicality. According to him, he's never used drugs. I can't really say whether or not that's true, but I would tend to believe him. I think that that's...
He had to put up with Heath Slater for 6 months. I think that would put anyone on drugs.
Oh. But point being, it's a very easy system to get fucked over by. And I feel like there's plenty of those situations out there where, little mistakes have led to unfortunate consequences.
Yeah. Well, it is sad. Even though when we did our Future Endeavors episode, Adam Rose was on my list, it is still sad to see him go.
Yeah, I loved Adam Rose. I've said that a million times. And it's too bad. Gosh, it's just a lot of my favorites are going. I mean, next thing you know, Ziggles will be gone, and I'll just be crying in a just heap of t-shirts.
Wasn't his contract coming up anyways?
I don't know. You're the all-knowing one, Kira. Not me.
Last I heard, his contract was coming up, but I'm not 100% sure if he re-signed yet or not.
I mean, I wouldn't give him any grief for doing the Cody Rhodes thing, because, I mean, goddamn. Talk about bad booking.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. The most like troubling part to me as a fan is that the story for so long that I kept hearing over and over again is that, you know, Cody was very happy being Stardust, and that's what he wanted to do, and that if he would wanted to be not Stardust, then that was just the thing he wanted to do, and that he was sticking with Stardust even after the passing of his father out of, you know, his integrity for the character and wanting to be doing it. And then to find out that not only was that misleading, it was in fact almost exactly the opposite of that, where that despite like trying to work with the writers to drop this, he has basically just been forced to be this fucking joke. And it really, you know, like, the whole time, you know, me and Jer, who we had for the WrestleMania podcast, we've been talking about how there seems to be this extended fucking going on of the Rhodes family. Like, whatever it is, it's something that, like, I think we've mentioned it even on the podcast, the speculation that, you know, Vince just does not like the Rhodes family and will basically take the opportunity to fuck them whenever possible. And at this point now, the fucking is so, like, thorough and so complete, like, that it's you know, it's passed on generationally. And, you know, the idea that even after the American Dream passed, that, you know, all the hard work that Cody has put in at the company couldn't be rewarded, they couldn't be fucking human about it and let him be, like, a not joke wrestler, you know? And it's deeply troubling to me.
The saddest part about that was, there was a Make-A-Wish kid who, when he was still Stardust, he and Stephen Amell actually got to grant this kid a wish. He got to appear on WWE TV, albeit it was during a commercial break. But, his mom runs a YouTube channel. She posted a video of him telling the kid that Cody was gone, and he was just fucking devastated. Cause this kid, he was like, I wanted to team with Stardust. It would be like if Kevin Owens were to get released tomorrow, Texas reaction.
No! Yeah, no, it'd be pretty bad. Sorry, I just imagined what that would be like for a second there.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add that you two haven't already said. It's a fucking devastating thing to take in, the fact that the Rhodes family has been fucked over so very much and so hard. And it's amazing, you know, it's crazy to think that maybe talent actually is genetic, because, you know, you have Dusty, and Dustin. Shit. So you have Dusty, Dustin, and Cody. And all three of them are given these absolute shit gimmicks that 90% of wrestlers would not be able to work with. And all three of them fucking own it. I mean, admittedly, Dusty's was just an outfit, but you get what I'm saying. You know, they take what most wrestlers could not pull off, and they just work it so hard that you honestly believe that it's what they want. And then to find out, oh yeah, no, this has been Cody's little prison this entire time, and it's just been WWE fucking him in the ass with a cosmic dildo. I mean, it's a terrible feeling, and it'll affect rewatching past events, and for it to end like this without ever resolving anything. I mean, I remember when, you know, he was having those kind of psychotic problems with, you know, the difference between Stardust and Cody, and I thought that, like, oh, this is going to turn into a great storyline, and he'll eventually become Cody again, and it'll be this really, you know, like, beautiful arc. But no, that's not going to happen, because the writers are fucking terrible people.
Or they're too busy hitting on divas backstage, according to him.
Yeah. Gosh, that's hard to, it was hard to read.
Yeah, exactly. Hard to read, like you're just sitting there and like, oh, just kind of twisted in your gut a little bit, you know? Because that, like I said, I personally, as a fan, took comfort from the fact that he wasn't really going anywhere as Stardust from the belief that he wanted this, that this was okay. And,
yeah, the only problem with all of that is now the WWE is trying to fuck him in the ass on the way out too, because they're trying to make him getting a job outside of the WWE as impossible, as close to impossible as humanly possible. It's like worse than the situation with Rey Mysterio when he was trying to get his release.
What exactly are they doing? I was under the impression that he was just released.
I don't know the exact details of it. Hang on, I'm heading over to War Culture right now.
Okay.
Double check this.
Shh, Kira, don't tell them where we get all our hot scoops. Come on, Michael Cole. Why do you gotta hold up the script that you're reading?
Well, I think we agreed in the first episode I was the Michael Cole and not the Byron Saxton, as some people would like to
There is no Byron
insinuate.
Saxton. There is no Byron Saxton here. We kicked him out. We put him on the developmental show. This is all stars, baby. This is all stars.
I can't find the story that said that they were trying to make his life a living hell.
Oh, well.
Well,
maybe it's
let's just hope
a-
for the best in that case, though.
Yes, and let's move on to some lighter fare, because this past Sunday was WWE's annual foray into the land of the extreme. And the question was, would this be as good as the 2012 edition, which Mike, Casey, and I gave a solid Mick Foley on our Macho Man scale of coolness?
It was not. That's spoilers. Sorry, spoilers. It was not.
Okay, fair enough. Well, then let's dive in with the pre-show. Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler, and thank God the right guy went over here.
Yeah, I mean, what's baffling to me about the whole affair? Well, I guess I don't want to go too far into it, but like with what happened immediately following on the next Raw, in terms of like where that led Baron Corbin, it's I don't know, it's pretty stupid. It comes out meaningless. Like, you know, okay, so he gets this win against the Ziggs, and you know, the next night they are giving out like spots for people to compete for the Money in the Bank slots, right? So riddle me this, Joel Schumacher, why is Baron Corbin not in one of those slots and Dolph Ziggler is? It makes it seem like there was no consequence to the victory or to the loss. It just seems
It's
like
Russo's writing?
It was just fucking arbitrary. That's what I mean. Like, I understand it's not a real sport, but if the wins and losses don't actually reflect in opportunities given in any way, then what's it all for, man? What's it all for?
It really does beg the question about that, because, yeah, and like even the fact that Ziggler lost clean without even so much as Baron Corbin sticking his head out the curtain, you know? Mm-hmm. They did nothing to forward the storyline other than the fact that Corbin is going to face Ziggler in a technical wrestling match next week on Raw, which, that's, knowing how bad Corbin is, I mean, he's still kind of green around the gills there, and it's going to be like wrestling a broom. Thankfully, Ziggler is one of those guys who can make the broom look like $1 million fucking bucks, but
I think you're being a little hard on Corbin, but I mean, you know, he is green. He's not, you know, a master technician or anything, but he can get the job done. He's an imposing figure. He could use a bit more confidence, but I think there's plenty of superstars that could certainly carry him. The fact that they're continuing with Ziggles and Corbin, I mean,
they gotta push it to at least 3 matches.
well, they have to keep Dolph in the worst potential storylines possible. I think that's what we've learned.
Unless Summer Rae's involved, it's not the worst potential storyline.
Fair enough, but you know what I mean. He's just in this rut that I don't see him getting out of anytime soon. I feel like ever since the Survivor Series when he destroyed the Authority, I just want to put that out there. Ever since then, it's just been like, hey, we should push Dolph less. There's an idea. Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I think the only reason he was the one that got the final pinfall was because Roman was still out after having surgery for, like, an incarcerated liver or something. His intestines were, like, wrapped around one of his other organs. So because Roman was out, they had to have Ziggler take the final pin.
Oh. Well, still, fucking follow up on that shit. If you're forced to go in a certain direction, just fucking deal with it. And don't be a bitch.
Yeah. Well, other than that, very good match, and from there, we move on to the actual opening match of the pay-per-view. In their pay-per-view debut, it is The Club, the stupidest name ever, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows versus the Usos in a Texas Tornado match. And, Mike, I believe this was the first one I had over you in our predictions. Because I predicted the Club would go over in a fairly dominating fashion. I said they were going to go over in a completely dominating fashion. They went over in a fairly dominating fashion, because why the fuck would you want the dominating tag team from Japan to, fucking dominate?
Rasa fashion, Canadian rap.
You sound bitter, Mike. I'd probably be bitter too if I had any predictions to defend this week. So I'll lay off you. I'll lay off.
I don't know. I realized fairly early on that I was screwed in that regard. I regret it. I was trying to go against my own logic, which had not served me very well in the past, and apparently I should have just gone by my original logic, because it would have finally turned out all right. My reasoning here was that the WWE would do the dumbest fucking thing possible. They did not.
They're innovating new ways to let you down all the time. Mike.
They let you down by playing right into what you want.
That said, I mean, it was a fun enough match. I mean, I'm never terribly impressed by the Usos. But it was a fun little match, and it put over Gallows and Anderson very well. So, fair enough. At least, if I'm going to be wrong, let it be with a good match.
Yes, it was a very, very good match. You don't see a lot of tornado tags anymore. That's the thing, too.
Yeah, it's a fun way to do it. That and the Fatal 4-Way are both very, high energy methods that I think work really well, and I would like to see more like that.
Yes, indeed, but we will get into Fatal 4-Ways a little later on. Up next, we had a match that surprisingly was not on the pre-show, only due to history, not due to quality. Although, God forbid, this wasn't a great match. Rusev defeating Kalisto for the United States Championship, and I can imagine Tex is just dancing in his seat right now.
Well, I was going to say, I guess I'm going to be the Jerry Lawler right now and just be delighted that Mexican mosquito got squatted. Oh my goodness, that was a real ass kicking, and I am very, very satisfied. They needed to give something to Rusev to fucking legitimize him, man. I mean, he was great for a while, and then it was all just downhill post Lana through the League of Nations and all that shit. And man, they got to do something to try to build this sucker up.
Although it does bring up an interesting point, because of course this Monday is the return of the man who originally beat Rusev for the U.S. title. Just saying.
Oh yeah, we all know how this is going, right? Right, guys? We all know how this is ending. There's no other way.
What, the return of the U.S. Open Challenge with John Cena every week?
Oh, absolutely.
It's not a terrible. If you want to put it that way, it's not that terrible. But at the same time, it's doesn't it kind of seem like they're feeding Rusev the title so Cena.
So they can feed Rusev to
Cena.
I hear you. It would be pretty shameful of that if that was the case. I'd like to see Rusev decide to do Rusev. I'd like to see him try to beat John Cena at his own game, so to speak, and decide that
You mean like what Kevin Owens did?
Mm-hmm. Well, what any American John Cena can do, Rusev can do twice as well. So he's going to defend it every week to prove that he can, and to shame John Cena, and then John Cena eventually gets his day in the sun to go in there, and Rusev just takes him down. That's what I want. Johnny needs to do something else.
I agree, that'd be really great.
His legacy of the U.S. Open Challenge can and should live on. I think it's a great gimmick. It is always exciting when there's a belt on the line every week. You know what I mean? I mean, it's something that really kind of draws you in, but at the same time, you have to make it a championship that people care about. So,
I think it would be a really interesting. It would be really interesting to have Rusev doing the U.S. Open Challenge every week, but being super fucking underhanded and heelish about it. Like even when he could totally, clean house, just fucking cheat.
Oh, sure.
Fucking do awful shit.
Cheat,
and be super
lie,
brutal about it.
deal.
Like beat the fuck out of people.
No, I hear you. Like really, and then just peacock around, going, "Oh, I'm the American champion." Like fuck
Yeah.
that. That'd be
That would
great.
be beautiful. Oh my god. So that's not happening.
Uh-huh.
He's probably
He's
a
gonna
transitional
drop it to
champion.
Cena. Yep, drop
Yeah.
it to Cena.
Yep.
Fuck. Fuck me running, boys.
That all being said, that match, I liked that match a lot. I thought that was a great match. It was a really, really good match.
Kalisto sold that accolade like a fucking boss.
Oh yeah. I love Kalisto. I think he's great. He's no Rey Mysterio, but he's a quality worker. He botches a bit here and there, but fucking, you try to fucking wrestle in that mask. So I was very pleased. I was happy to be right. Both because I liked getting the point and also because it was the right thing to do. You need to legitimize Rusev again. This is a guy who went undefeated for a metric shit ton of time, and then as soon as John Cena beat him, he became just the littlest bitch, which is too bad. That's not how it should work.
Well, as it stands right now, Mike and I are tied at 2. And then we get into a series of matches where we kind of got it wrong, both of us.
Yeah.
First up, it is the Vaudevillains versus the New Day for the WWE World Tag Team Championships. And both Mike and I agreed that the Vaudevillains should go over here because it makes sense story-wise. And the New Day went over, which is not a terrible result because the New Day are still fucking awesome, minus that terrible, terrible segment they had going into Extreme Rules. I am not a fan of the New Daylorian.
So, what can I say? It was another good enough match. I actually don't remember it that well for some reason. I remember it being really fun, but I don't really remember most of the match, and I did not rewatch it, obviously. So,
Yeah, no.
But I mean, it's one of those matches where story-wise it works either way. I do still think that the Vaudevillains going over would have been a fun change of pace, and they
Right,
certainly
and it would have been
Yeah.
certainly. It would have been nice to see, like, after them going through the whole tournament and everything, like to have that rewarded that way. I mean, I know that a tournament can't always signal an imminent change, but the New Day have been pretty comfortable on the top of the tag team bracket here for a while.
Yeah. And the only reason I could see them going over is that they want to try to push for the New Day to have like the longest tag team title reign and kind of finally push London and Kendrick out of the way.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, I hate the idea that they're just like clearing out old records that they have because they're no longer relevant records in their eyes.
Yeah, it's I'm sure the reasoning is shitty. I have no doubt. But whatever. New Day is quite possibly the hardest tag team to dislike of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, they are.
With a close second of Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, well, okay, the most well-established, absurdly likable team of all time.
Speaking of which, guess who returned this week?
I saw that. I didn't get to see the episode, but I saw some highlights, and I'm really happy to see that he's back. Can't wait for him to actually start wrestling again. Hopefully he, washes his head. Great, awesome. I mean, we're losing quality stars at a really high rate, so maybe
Yeah.
we definitely needed that.
Yeah, for sure. That was like, again, one of the few moments I had legitimately marked out, even when he accidentally threw the mic off the stage.
He has to see. He seems to have some mic control problems, especially since coming up to the big show, the colloquial big show, not the actual big show.
Oh, well, if he came up to the Big Show would probably cry.
Hmm. He's the best crier in the business.
Indeed.
Yes. Well, from the shortest match on the card at 6:20, we move on to one of the longest and the easy, hands-down match of the night.
Oh, yeah.
The Miz versus Cesaro versus Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Championship. And my God, this was... Oh, that's good.
I once again found myself jerking off in my friend's living room. It was quite nice. And it was good. My nipples were erect the entire time.
Even the Miz,
You were
really...
titillated.
I was
The Miz
titillated.
really brought his A game for this one too. He was selling his fucking ass off. I've never seen him sell that well.
Yeah, I think Miz might have finally hit a new stride. I think that, when you have so much heat, and some of it not very good heat, I think that you start to have to really have to rethink who you are and how you're going to perform. And I think he's trying to step up his game to make up for the fact that he's been a joke for a long time. He's seeing all these guys around him who are turned into jokes and just fade away. And the Miz is not going to have that shit, yo. And I'm really excited because I love the Miz. I think the Miz is one of the most underrated performers on the roster, and he might finally be able to really, get it done. I did not see him retaining. That was the last thought on my mind. And it was a surprisingly...
Storyline-wise, it made sense, though, because Sammy was so obsessed with beating the shit out of Kevin Owens that he just didn't even realize, oh shit, Cesaro's still down.
Oh, I mean, neither
After
did
he
Bucky
took,
Beaver, so...
Yeah.
That camera work, though, or rather that master control, rather, was just completely terrible. But, yeah, it was...
I'm surprised they didn't just cut the Roman's reaction watching it on TV.
it was a great ending. I was not expecting to like a Miz win so much. I was a little taken aback at first. I was kind of like, what? And then I kind of thought about it, and I was like, all right, that's okay. Match of the night. Let's see someone beat this. No one did, but at least we got this, and it was glorious.
Yes.
Everybody rocked the fuck out of it. Cesaro, I think, was the all-star. That might be my bias.
Yeah. Although my favorite moment, I'm sorry, Tex. My favorite moment came right at the beginning. Just funniest moment, Sammy hitting that haluva kick on Kevin Owens.
Oh, no need to apologize. Zayn is my second love, and, someday we're going to have a
three-way?
A very French-Canadian three-way.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite openings to a match of all time. I mean, that's high up there. That was, I think, if you were to take one moment out of this entire pay-per-view, including the final one, and say, okay, what's the one thing that you'll remember this pay-per-view for? It's that moment at the beginning, because that was comedy gold right there.
Yeah, and just seeing Cesaro and Miz's reactions like, whoa, yeah. Okay then. Don't fuck with this guy. But from the best match hands down on the card, we move on to a pattern here, because we go from the best match to easily one of the worst matches on the card. And I think I have a reason, I think I got an explanation as to why this match went as long as it did. This is, of course, Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho in the Asylum match, which, thank God, Ambrose went over, I guess. But I was actually listening to the Wrestling Observer a couple days later, and supposedly, either right before this or right after this, there was supposed to be a McMahon segment that actually got cut. So they gave this match extra time.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, because there definitely was, the pacing was really weird, and it did go on far longer than it really should have. No matter what the quality of the fight itself, I mean, that kind of match just shouldn't take, it shouldn't be the longest fucking match on the card, but there we were. I didn't have as much of a problem with it as a lot of people seem to. It certainly went too long, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, my biggest problem was that it just seemed a little too slow.
Yeah, they were kind of working toward that a little too long. The kind of labored oh, he's trying to get to the object. You know, I mean, it just, I don't know. It didn't fully work for me.
Yeah. Although while the crowd was dead for the majority of this match, the second Ambrose grabbed that bucket and pulled out that little bag, I think a little bit of intrigue came out there.
You know, it's funny. I had just come, and there I was with an erection again. It's crazy. I guess they gave me a lot of time to rejuvenate, but still, I mean, that was, even for me, that was pretty impressive. I mean, just sprung right back up. Statue of Liberty down there. It was amazing. The thing that is crazy about the thumbtack bit is that in the past, the thumbtacks were always a part of a much larger program. It was, the tacks were great because the rest of the match was brutal, and the thumbtacks supported that brutality. And here we have a match that really isn't very brutal. I mean, there's some good spots, don't get me wrong, but, there's nothing insane. It never got super bloody until that point. Even then, it wasn't super bloody by, past standards.
Like, even when Ambrose was getting beaten with the barbed wire wrap 2x4, like, you could tell it was fake barbed wire to begin with, but when it wasn't even tearing his shirt, your suspension of disbelief can only go so far. Yeah,
that was too bad. But it says a lot about the era we're in that, thumbtacks, I could die a happy man now. Like, that shouldn't be the reaction. Because, like, my friends, especially my male friend, because it's him and his wife, he was just going bananas. When he pulled out that bag, it was like, no fucking way. Oh my fuck. Goddamn. Holy shit. Is he really oh my god. There's no way. Are they? Oh! And listening to him, so excited about this bag of thumbtacks.
Did you have to clean up the wall afterwards?
Well, they've turned into kind of like this modern work of art thing. It's crazy.
Like a Jackson Pollock painting?
It's like a Jackson Pollock painting, yeah. They have black lights installed everywhere.
Oh god.
And
oh my.
It makes it hard to watch pay-per-views. But the fact that the thumbtacks, that's what gets us hard now, is just, oh my fuck, they actually have thumbtacks. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. It should be, oh cool, thumbtacks. That's pretty rad. Oh good, they're going through the natural progression. This is gonna get super crazy. Instead of, well, it's coming up to the end of the match now. Not to take away from the spot, Jericho fucking took those thumbtacks like a champ. I don't think I've ever seen so much bleeding just from thumbtacks. I mean, it was good stuff. It's just too bad that was, the ending and not like the middle ramping up to the ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you got this feeling throughout the entire match that, okay, they're gonna use every single item hanging there. And yet, Mitch was still up there. Mitch, who seemed to have gotten out of his TNA contract.
Yeah.
Well, he never belonged in the Impact Zone anyway, Michael.
I was anticipating some Mitch action, and we didn't get it, which is probably fair enough. I mean, it already went so long. Overall, I mean, good use of a mop, okay use of Barbie, great use of a kendo stick, I'll say, and
although, as someone who has trained in martial arts, Ambrose should never, ever use nunchucks ever again.
I thought he did pretty well for a little street punk.
I guess. It's better than this sharpshooter, I'll give him that much.
Well,
I'm a Canadian, I have to judge people on their sharpshooters.
Well,
Kira, you negative Nancy piece of Canadian bacon shit.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that. Because this negative Nancy piece of Canadian bacon shit, whatever you said.
You had it, you got all the way
You'll
there.
never be the poet that I am, Kira.
Totally got the finish for the next match, which was also probably one of the worst matches on the card. Completely correct! Charlotte defeated Natalya in a submission match for the WWE Women's Championship after shenanigans where Dana Brooke pretended to be her father, Ric Flair. And sadly, we can't use that joke for very much longer.
Wait, what joke?
Oh, that, I don't know if you know this, but, Ric Flair's Charlotte's father. Make it count.
Wait. Are you telling me right here on the greatest stage of all, a podcast, that Charlotte and Ric Flair
From
together,
the Queen City.
they are related? And not just related, they are not simply, cousins, uncle and and niece and not even brother and sister, not grandfather and granddaughter, but father and daughter. You're telling me right now on this fucking podcast that Ric Flair is Charlotte's father?
Somebody give this man an Oscar.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
See, this is why the podcast needs a visual medium, because I'm just sitting here. I found some glasses in my desk and put them on, and then I reached up with a trembling hand to take them back off again. It didn't convey well in the podcast, but Michael had me going there, so
Yeah. I was ready to hand Mike an Oscar for that one. I'm actually gonna put dramatic music underneath that speech when I edit this.
you gotta.
But yeah, I totally called this one. I knew there was going to be some kind of shenanigans involved because for some strange reason they want to keep the title on Charlotte. Don't get me wrong, I would have been glad to see the title with Natalya, but it kind of made sense given whatever direction the WWE is going with Charlotte.
Oh, you're completely right. I'm a fool for that one. I was going against all good logic, and in this case, I don't know what I was thinking. I thought that maybe, just maybe, they were finally going to push Natalya. But you know what I realized afterward was that anyone who Vince has shit on in the past, he will shit on in the future. And if he can't shit on them, he will shit on someone even vaguely related to them. And, you could say that, him and Flair have not had the best relationship, but they've had an okay relationship. They're friends. He and Bret Hart, however, not such good friends. So, to not only reenact the Montreal Screwjob in one of the worst finishes of all time, but to also follow that up by fucking over this vaguely related person yet again, in an equally silly moment.
Who knows? He might have had an issue with the Anvil.
That's funny you mention that. It might have been my imagination, and it might have just been a mistake at one point, but I'm pretty sure I heard Michael Cole refer to Natalya as Natalya Hart, and that's just wrong. That's just incorrect.
Yeah.
She's not a Hart.
Well, she is.
Well,
her mom is Bret's sister, but
she's not a Hart. She's a Neidhart. This is a patriarchy, and even in Canada, it is a patriarchy, and children take their father's names. That's how this works.
God damn it.
It is known. So no, I don't know. The further the further of that legacy, I don't know. I guess obviously Jim Neidhart isn't the star that the Hitman was, but just seems disrespectful.
Yeah.
This whole
funny thing about
program's
this match
awful.
was so go ahead, finish. But
I was just shitting on it. It's fine.
Yeah. It's funny though, because I talked about how the Ambrose match got extra time because they apparently cut a McMahon segment. I think they actually might have had to cut this match short because the Ambrose match went on too long.
Yeah, this was fairly quick, and not epic, and not particularly fun, not great, not good. This is another one I really don't remember much from.
Yeah.
It happened. I remember liking Natalya in the match. I remember thinking Charlotte did well, but nothing spectacular. And then I think the problem is that it was all eclipsed by that fucking finish, which came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Randy Orton didn't show up, because that came out of nowhere.
It was unexpected.
I'm surprised it wasn't me in my friend's living room, because it came out of nowhere. That's the last one I got. That's all I have.
Yeah. Well, from a finish that was unexpected but stupid to a finish that was completely expected yet stupid, we move on to the main event: Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles in an Extreme Rules match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And wishful thinking did not save you from this one, Mike, because I won 5-3.
Nope.
I am the greatest predictor ever.
It was not good for me. I felt bad. I lost. I did predict on Twitter that Seth Rollins would come back.
Okay, you get half a point for that.
Oh, that's fine. But even then, I thought, oh, well, he'll interfere with the match and cause, whichever direction, whether he's going back one way or the other. But no, he just showed up at the last second to pedigree Rollins, or to pedigree Roman Reigns rather.
Well, they do look alike now, so.
I mean, I'm glad that he came back. I'm glad that he pedigreed Roman Reigns. Considering the beating that Roman Reigns took and still won, I'm surprised he didn't get up and decapitate Seth Rollins, because he is the most overpowered monster of all time. But cool, whatever. Moving back to the match, though, this started off as a pretty good Extreme Rules match. This wasn't the best use of Extreme Rules. Like, the whole card was not the best use of Extreme Rules. I mean, the one that really stands out in my mind was the Ziggles match when he got punched in the nads. Okay, well, that's a solid use of Extreme Rules. It makes sense. But otherwise, it was just pretty basic setups. I mean, the Tornado Tag Team was kind of cool. But Fatal 4-Way is nothing new. And then, so you finally get here, and you have this Extreme Rules match, and they almost immediately get out of the ring, and are going all over the place, beating the fuck out of each other. AJ's taking some mad bumps. Roman's doing fairly well for himself. I mean, it's not a bad match. It's just
not a good match.
Yeah, it's not a great match. I don't know. It's somewhere between an okay match and a good match. I'm really not. I'd have to rewatch it, I guess. But it wasn't bad. It's just the booking was lazy. It was the exact same match we got at Payback. I felt like I was watching a rerun, and that's a problem. That's a serious problem, because I realize that the pay-per-view doesn't really mean much anymore because they're not really pay-per-views anymore. But still, you're positioning this as a big event, monthly or otherwise. Give me something I haven't seen before. Especially something I haven't seen in the last pay-per-view that occurred 3 goddamn cock-sucking weeks ago, you piece of shit motherfuckers.
It's the WWE thinking we have concussions all over again.
Yeah. I got nothing else in this match. It's fine, but the booking's balls, and I think that they thought, oh, well, Seth Rollins is coming back, he's gonna pedigree Roman Reigns, it'll make up for it. But no, now AJ's relegated to something else. Now he's just the guy who failed to take down Roman Reigns. And he's less powerful now. I mean, sure, he can go with the club and take on something else. He can take the Intercontinental, whatever. But, I mean, the fact is, he lost Roman Reigns clean a bunch of times. That's no good.
Well, the thing about that is, I don't think he's going to be with the club anymore. I think because on Monday, he actually, right before his Money in the Bank qualifying match, he cut a promo saying, both the Usos and the club kind of screwed him out of his opportunity, and the club kind of turned on him, which is kind of setting sowing the seeds for a feud with the club. And, well, let's just say there was a guy in Toronto I met the day before we recorded this podcast, who I think might have some things to say about that. Some Irish guy. Some Irish prince guy.
I got nothing.
Balor. I think he's gonna have a feud with Balor. I was trying to be subtle.
Yeah.
Apparently I was too Canadianly subtle for you.
Nah, I like tits and sports. Okay, well, that makes sense. We've been anticipating this Balor thing for a while. Everybody knows it has to happen eventually. It only makes sense. So much sense that even the WWE has to do it. And that's fine. I am excited for it. I hope that they end up feuding over a belt.
Yeah.
But, whatever. I wish that these guys who have so much fucking talent and have put so much work into their craft and have been doing it for years and years and years and years would get some fucking respect and not be fucking tossed out by Roman Reigns, who, I do respect to some degree, but, I'm continually blown away by the fact that he's burying these quality guys day in, day out. It's taken it out of me, and not the way stuff was taken out of me at my friend's house, the bad way.
Yeah, well, on our Macho Man scale of coolness, what would you guys give this one? I'm kind of leaning towards just slightly below a Brutus Beefcake, but I'm not really sure what that would be.
I'll give it a Val Venus.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna give this one a late term Bad News Barrett.
Ooh.
Just not a real great use of the Extreme Rules overall. A series of disappointing outcomes. Nothing really changed here. Yeah. In fact, aside from the American belt, it was all retainments. And retainments I feel that didn't really go anywhere or make sense. I guess I'll give it some time, but I'm not very satisfied. The most satisfying thing that happened was Seth coming back at the end with his Muppet face and just, cleaning Roman's clock with a well-timed pedigree. But that's my highlight. So.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. I will say this, and this is very rare. This is a special occasion. I will congratulate Bucky Beaver on a really smart editing choice. When Seth came back, you heard the crowd, but you didn't see him, and then he pops up behind Roman like the fucking boogeyman, and that's the first time you see him, and then it's immediately just pedigree, dunzo. Beautiful work there. I think that made my night because, the match just ended. We were disappointed. My main man was talking to his wife, not paying attention to the screen. All of a sudden, Seth Rollins, and I'm just like, fucking Seth Rollins! And he turns, he's like, fucking Seth Rollins! And then she's like, fucking Seth Rollins! And it was great.
So basically everyone was fucking Seth Rollins.
Yeah. I would say good job on that one thing. Yay.
Yes, well, even a blind squirrel will get a good shot. Will get a good nut shot every now and then. Ooh, bad terminology when talking about Rollins.
Oh God.
That man has a sleek penis.
Well, with all of that out of the way, I guess now we have NXT TakeOver to look forward to. I don't know what the exact name they're giving for this one, but then after that, of course, we have Money in the Bank being performed in front of a bunch of Neanderthals in Vegas.
Yeah, my fiance is working that event at the T-Mobile Arena. Fun fact.
Oh, no way.
I will be at home watching it. Everybody got tickets except for me. I couldn't afford it. So that's
well, to be fair, I probably won't be seeing Survivor Series when it comes to Toronto, so.
Yeah, I'm hoping they come back. I mean, the T-Mobile Arena is pretty swanky. The one thing, this is a little tidbit for you as someone in the know, they're not allowing signs in the T-Mobile Arena, so that's going to be fun.
How do you go to a wrestling show and not have signs?
Well, there's a few arenas that have it. You'll notice that some shows just have fewer signs by like a noticeable degree, and those are usually those arenas. People sneak them in because they're pretty easy to sneak in, but the T-Mobile Arena specifically does not allow signs, and there will probably be injuries at the T-Mobile Arena. The steps are really steep, and there's like injuries every time, which is great. I mean, it's not great, but it's, wrestling fans, they tend to get rowdy. This will get interesting.
Well, if anyone listening to this podcast from Vegas is attending Money in the Bank this year, be careful. Don't hurt yourself too badly. If you guys would like to follow me on social media, I am on Twitter at KiraKennedyHNR. I'm also on Tumblr at KiraKennedyHNR and Facebook at KiraKennedy Reviews because KiraKennedyHNR was fucking taken.
My name is Michael. I'm on Twitter at Michael Keen. And I also have an Instagram, which is mbkeen. And I also am on the peanutbutterdisaster.coms. And I have a show called Michael's Movie Show. And it is where I talk about movies. And you should check it out because I have a sexy voice. And it's like coming in out of your ear holes. And then you can't hear anymore because you got cum lodged in your ear holes. But it's okay because you're feeling good. And you should follow me. The end.
I'm Tex Rockwolf, and you can follow me at trockwolf at twitter.com.
And of course, you can also follow the show on Facebook and Twitter, both at PVDSmark, or if you're looking for us on Facebook, go to the little search bar, type in Smark My Words Podcast, bada bing, bada boom, you got us. I run the Facebook, Mike runs the Twitter, we talk about wrestling because that's what the fucking show is. So until next time, until next week or whatever, I'm Kira Kennedy, and for my broadcast colleagues, me, Mago Keen, and Tex Rockwolf, thank you for listening.
Fuck you, Kira.
Smark My Words is hosted by Kira Kennedy, Tex Rockwolf, and Michael Keane. Our opening theme is Temper by L Tigre Ultimo, who you can find out more about at facebook.com/L_Tigre_Ultimo, as well as soundcloud.com/L Tigre Ultimo, all one word. Our ending theme is Summon the Rock by Kevin MacLeod, who you can find out more about at Incompetech.com. The following has been a production of PeanutButterDisaster.com.
Peanut butter disaster.